Sagittarius, welcome to your December 2018 tarot reading. It's Raina here. This is a general tarot reading for the month of December. And I felt weird saying that, but it's already the 23rd of November, so it's really coming up in 8 days. Whoa, the first 3 cards are major arcana cards. A lot of major arcana cards. Well, this is the season of the solar return of Sagittarius. My birthday's in December. Happy birthday to those of you born in December and November. And definitely there's that sense of feeling like things are starting to happen when the sun crosses over to whatever degree sun you have in Sagittarius. So that makes perfect sense why you would start to feel very energized and like things are going your way. And oh yeah, lest I forget, look at the heart of the matter, the Wheel of Fortune, which is connected to Jupiter. So Jupiter is in our sign, and this is a time of, for Sagittarius especially, just everything should be clicking in. But again, I don't like wishful thinking. I like thinking and wishing, but I don't like wishful thinking. In other words, believing that it's just out there. I mean, you do have to put some effort and have your own dreams and really know what you want. I think one of the most maddening things is not knowing what you want. And when that happens, it's probably because you have been told all your life what you're supposed to want. So I was just discussing this with my partner, that saying by Buddha, your job is to find out what your job is and to pursue it with all the passion that you have. I'm totally paraphrasing the last part. But yeah, you know, find out what it is that you really want and kind of turn off those inner critics in your head that are telling you, oh, that's crazy, you can't do that. And make sure that you really do something in the next year that is following your bliss, Sag, because the universe has our back with this one. And I think that's what the Wheel of Fortune is. It's like, hey, baby, you're aligned. But you have to know you're aligned. Let's look at the foundation cards. So we have the Justice card, another major arcana card. This connects with Libra. And for some people, there may be some kind of lawsuit that works out in your favor, that you finally get the justice that you've been seeking. And that puts you on easy street in some way. So if it's some kind of a lawsuit and there's a lot of money at stake, or maybe it's a divorce, and you might feel vindicated about something. And yeah, I mean, with the Justice card in general, that feeling of like, I deserve equal treatment, I deserve fairness in whatever the situation is in your life. Maybe this is just some other type of situation where you have felt in the past that you haven't been treated the way you deserve to be treated, maybe in the workplace. What crosses you is the Hierophant, and this connects with the sign of Taurus, and it's also about marriage and conformity, conforming to tradition and things like that. Sometimes it can be higher education. So if there is some kind of a situation where you thought that that was going to be the answer to all your prayers, is to get a college degree, and that never panned out, then that might have been it. Maybe you were trying to achieve something through the means that other people told you is the only way that you can make it happen. And Sagittarians, because we are fire signs, we are very independent. And sometimes the way that we succeed personally is through doing things ourselves. And sometimes it doesn't work to follow some, already laid out path, because this actually sounds like a reading for me, and I thought I could do it by the numbers, paint by numbers. It brings me back to childhood. But yeah, it doesn't work for some of us because we're not, we don't fit neatly into a certain little box. And if you worked in a corporate environment, I always associate the Hierophant with a corporate environment. I think because there's that sense of cooperating with groups and trying to get along. And again, that may not be your particular route. Somebody else may be trying to tell you what you are supposed to do, and it's just not true. Listen to yourself. Listen to what you feel is true for you. Other people may think they know, but they're really just telling you about their own, what's going on with them, not what's going on with you. And the other thing about this too is if this is a marital situation, you might even feel like you've been set free in a sense, but there might be a residue of oh, I'm going against my church teachings, or I'm going against my family's philosophy of oh, you're supposed to be married until death do us part, and things like that. And it might feel a little bit strange, but that's another thing. Sagittarians are natural rebels, and it's not, obviously it's not good to be just rebelling without any kind of, the rebel without a cause, but sometimes it's exactly what we need to do to align ourselves with our destiny, like the Wheel of Fortune. Because really, the Wheel of Fortune also is talking about cycles, and sometimes you're, on an upswing, and sometimes it feels like everything is, the decks are stacked against you. So it's really about learning how to be detached from the outer world and what goes up. They say what goes up must come down. But I personally feel that you can continue that flow if you are not trying to, continue making sure that it happens forever. You never know what's going to happen. You can only be happy with what you have in this moment, And so many people are they cling. I think that's what I was trying to express, is that once they taste a bit of success, then they're worried about what if it goes away. And it's just be in this moment. That's all we have. And don't worry. And I think that will make things flow more nicely and for a longer period of time. The higher message is the Six of Pentacles, and this is a card. I mean, there are different meanings to this card. One is, you see the scales again, talking about justice, holding scales in this, and it's about give and take. I think that this is the most important message of this card. The other message sometimes is either giving financial aid to somebody in need or receiving it. So for those of you who maybe coming into some money with the Wheel of Fortune. Perhaps you're receiving some sum of money. You may then pay it forward and give a part of it to somebody, like maybe a relative or a friend or somebody who you feel that you want to assist. Sometimes this can be accepting help, accepting money when you need it, and not feeling that sense of shame about it or something like that. But I don't think that you're going to be accepting money. And this is a spiritual message, so it's not the literal sense of what the card means. It's more of the energy behind it, which is about an exchange of energy, as far as I'm concerned. That's to me the highest message of this card. And what that means is, if you have been in a situation where let's say you feel guilty because you have gotten divorced and you wanted to do it. Maybe you were the one who initiated it. Understand that the other person, it's very possible that they did not give an equal exchange of energy with you, and they were not in it the way that you were in it, and therefore you felt like you were the only one in the marriage. So that makes sense that you would want to leave that situation. In a workplace situation, if you feel like you're giving and you're not receiving in return, that's not fair. So this reading is about fairness in one form or another. And the way that you determine fairness is there an equal exchange of energy? The more literal advice or situation description here is the Nine of Swords. This is a card of anxiety. And like I said at the beginning, noting all these major arcana cards, even if we have Jupiter in our sign, that doesn't mean that everything is just going to be peachy keen. I mean, there might be things that come up in the next 12 plus months that are still challenging. And even if there are more opportunities that come your way, you may experience anxiety, Sag. Interestingly, if you are somebody who is really hoping for success in some area of your life, you're going to have to prepare yourself to accept success. Because if you're somebody who's used to failing and used to things not going your way, and they start going your way, like the Wheel of Fortune suggests, and like Jupiter in Sagittarius suggests, that can be terrifying. I've experienced it, and it was the most bizarre experience of my life, because it's like, how can you be afraid of success? It's because deep down inside, you've always identified with being the loser, with being the one who just couldn't quite make it. And when you start experiencing success, and I'm not talking about like some grandiose success, I mean, it could just be on a minor level, it totally blows to smithereens the story that you've been telling yourself. And that alone is terrifying, because you may have identified with all of your failures, and now you don't have that to like use as an excuse. Now it's almost like the universe is forcing you to step up to the plate and really, step it up a notch, and that can be intimidating. So I'm wondering if some of you may be like fearful about your success. And as I said before, also, and this can even go back to childhood, where there was a lot of kind of drama, when you were growing up, where if something good happened, if you had a parent who had like a lot of mood swings, and sometimes, or maybe they were, alcoholics tend to be like that too, or bipolar, where they're happy, and then you think everything's okay, and then they go into this terrible mood again, and you never knew what to expect. When you become an adult, it's like when something good happens, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. So that could be what the Nine of Swords is as well. So it's something that you have to look at as programmed into your nature and figure out a way to get rid of these self-defeating patterns. Anxiety, a lot of times, is resistance. You're resisting thoughts that kind of freak you out, but you're also maybe resisting good coming into your life because that feels strange. That is not what you're used to. So you may still have a lot of, shadow work to do, things to look at. I think Jupiter in the 12th house has been a great way to kind of introduce that concept of, the things that we don't really look at. And now that Jupiter has gone into our sign, we're going to start to have these opportunities. And if you are fearful about everything changing, that can put a monkey wrench in your ability to make things happen. So you have to be able to transcend your fears. Meditation, I don't like to just say you have to transcend your fears, because the real question is how. And it's only by stilling the mind, I think. Swords are connected to thought and communication. So learning how to communicate with yourself in the best way possible is the key. What's coming in is represented by the King of Pentacles. This is great for money. This is, kind of like being totally master of your money. Now, if this is another person, this could be connected to the Hierophant, because it could be like a Taurus individual. As I said, the Hierophant is connected to Taurus, and this is Earth energy, the King of Pentacles. But this could be like a boss or a business owner, and maybe they are making you an offer. So maybe if you work for yourself, they're buying your line. If you're a fashion designer, they say, hey, let's, or maybe it's somebody giving you a loan for your business, like a financial institution, who knows. But the other earth signs are Virgo and Capricorn, and that kind of a person may be figuring into your life in some way. And the outcome is the Death card. And yes, I mean, this is really what this reading is all about. Even though I picked the Wheel of Fortune, this is a period of transition for Sagittarius. And yet, some of you will look at this Death card and say, oh my God, that is so ominous, and what does that mean? It simply means irrevocable change. And for some Sagittarians, this isn't me, but some of you may have inner planets in Scorpio, or maybe you have a moon in Scorpio, or Scorpio rising, or another fixed sign as the... But Scorpio specifically, because this card connects to Scorpio. And that's a sign that, ironically, even though the card represents change, is very much wanting that status quo, wanting that continuity. And so it's understandable. We want to believe that the world is predictable. But there are times in our life, and there are cycles. The Wheel of Fortune is about cycles. And sometimes there are times when we have to really show the world what we have. And it may be frightening. But if you have a dream Sagittarius. Don't let that dream go deferred in the next year. Take some step in the direction of your dreams, because change is inevitable. Whether we like it or not, it's going to happen. And we might as well give of ourselves, give of our essence to the world. I think that's when we really shine, and that's when we really experience the luck of Jupiter. Okay, now I'm going to pick an additional card from the Universe Has Your Back deck. And this card is... Guess what card I got? The Universe Has My Back. Well, that's pretty apropos, because that's kind of what I'm going with here. With the Nine of Swords, you may still have lingering doubts that the universe has your back. I'll be honest with you, I'm still wondering, since this is a relatively new deck, if that is the top card, like the filler card. I have a feeling it's one of the actual active cards in the deck, but you know, since that's the title of the deck, I'm always like, oh, okay. But yeah, the universe has your back, and that is evidenced by the Wheel of Fortune. So go Sag. Happy birthday again, and make your new moon wishes, and really dream big. And if you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Namaste. Bye.